Hello, welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. This is my Nell Nell. She is a good hairy puppy with lots of love to give. She's a little scared and a little nervous right now because the cats are cray. And they're hissing and they're playing and they're running around, and that makes this one very, very nervous. Very nervous. She doesn't understand why they would even want to do that, because she's just a gentle, gentle soul. All right. First off, thank you so much for subscribing and liking and commenting on my video. I truly appreciate it, and I am so thankful that I get the little tips and tricks from others, and yeah, thank you so much. Today we are going to discuss a little bit of stuff, and then my next podcast will be more of a wrap-up of what I accomplished during February, which might happen before the end of February, but we'll just see. Oh, she's so gentle. Oh, so pretty. All right, first thing I'm going to discuss is the Musselburgh hat. I got a tip from a viewer on the size that she made for herself, and I also coincided that to also match my Ann Bud's pattern. I really like Ann Bud's books. I've never been led astray, and so I kind of used both of them, the comment, the patterns, and like said, okay, what do I want? Did I look at the wrong line and do the wrong stitches for the stitch count that I have? Yes, I did. But did the stitch count match the Ann Bud book? Yes, it did. So technically speaking, I am making the Musselburgh hat in the size adult large, which is for my yarn 120 stitches around. In this pattern, it's an adult large, and in this pattern, it's adult small. So do with that what you will, right? I am using Knit Picks palette yarn in the color Briar Twist. It's a 2-ply fingering left over from another project, so I am stash busting, which is really nice. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. I love this yarn. I'm not a affiliate or sponsored by Knit Picks. I just really love this yarn. I was using my, oh, did you hear? Are you okay? Are you going to be okay? Are they scaring you? I'm sorry. You're so beautiful. It's okay. Want to smell? Yeah, we don't want her to lick it though. So where was I? Oh yes, today I was outside and I was using my cowl that I made out of this yarn, but in different colors. And I made it 2 winters ago, and it has gotten softer and softer and softer as time has gone by. I just like the way it feels on my face. It's just soft. It's not itchy. It is just wonderful, wonderful yarn. In each 50-gram ball, you get 231 yards. So I am using two strands of yarn, and I'm using double pointed needles. These are the Knit Picks Sunstruck laminated birch needles. You're okay. And they have no markings on them. That's kind of a downfall or kind of good, so nothing snags, because I have had needles that have like a stamp and you just kind of feel like something grips every once in a while. So these are very smooth, and it's been a lovely experience. I personally really like knitting in the round on DPNs. Not everybody does, and to each their own. So it's working out really well. I decided to do the 120 stitches. It just felt like a natural cohesion for the yarn, for the size, for the patterns. I have dog hair in my mouth. So I'm just working. This will probably be a good summer project. I would like to have this done by next fall. you know, because you can just pick it up and work. Well, I have like 10 minutes and I can do, you know, 2, 4, 6 needles, you know. I do have the beginning of the round marked. I'm probably going to take these 2 out after the podcast because I only need really 1. I don't need to mark on my needles where the decreases are because I know exactly how I did it for the beginning, and I'm just using DPNs. If you're doing it in the round, you would have to know, and it would be too hard to see it later on, especially with this kind of yarn. I mean, you can see, like, here's the increased area, but it is so speckled and it's just so beautiful. I don't think they make this colorway anymore. I got this like a long time ago, a good 8 years ago. So that is that. Now, what did I do next? Okay, so after I figured that part out, I decided, hey, I'm going to work on my vegetable patch cardigan. I'm going to get this thing done, and I'm going to work on the next one, and I'm going to get so much done by the time I have my next podcast, and everything's going to work out just great. You know, best laid plans. My vegetable patch cardigan comes from Homestead Cables. The designer's Anni Howard. It is this one right here. Now, it was my goal for finish it February to finish the left front, which I did. Very happy. The day after I recorded my podcast last week, I'm like, I've been giving myself I'm trying to focus. How can I put this? I don't want to sound conceited. I am not forcing, kind of requiring. I want to get more things done, and instead of scattering my attention to everything, you know, answering emails, looking at stuff on social media, doing other things around the house, taking care of everything else, not paying attention to this up here. I have been telling myself before work, when possible, I want to get at least 45 minutes into knitting. Now, that may change when the weather is easier to take my dog for a walk in the morning, because the ice factors have been really scary and I don't want to slip and fall. So she just goes in our backyard and, you know, takes care of stuff there. Anyway, last week I sat down, I had 45 minutes. I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this done so fast, and I'm going to do this so well. I know exactly what I'm doing. Now, it's a very beautiful pattern. As you can see, it's a horseshoe cable. And I had, the cable is on row 3 of the pattern, and I was done with row 6. And I was looking at my pattern. I'm like, yeah, everything's going really, really well. And then right in the middle, instead of a horseshoe, instead of this, I had this. And I couldn't fix it. And so I had to frog it back. And I was so mad at myself. And I was just like, darn it, all that work, all that time. So I got back. I actually had to go another row below of where I was before. So I had to like rip out 5 or 6 rows. I fixed it. I continued on. I did finish the front panel for the left. You decrease on this side. You can kind of see it. And then you do some shaping up here. Everything worked out. You do put these stitches on hold. It's for the shawl collar. Where did I put it? I'm just going to show the back of the picture because I don't want to show too much of the pattern. And okay. As you can see, there's the collar. So eventually when everything's together, you will pick up and finish that. I don't know how yet. There's a lot to still do. So I was very, very happy with the things I did to keep me on track for this pattern, because I'm just going to hold it up. You see all the sizes are listed basically together. So I spend some time and I rewrite it on my own paper. And yes, you could use highlighter. Yes, you can underline. Yes, you could do all of that. But even when I have done that before on other patterns, I make mistakes easier. So I found that, like, even with the Patons cable, I rewrite it and it does two things. One, I have my size right in front of me. I know exactly what to do, where to go. It all matches out. Yay. And then it also helps me to remember. Writing things down puts the memory in my brain to a T. So that's really, really, really nice. I was working on this morning, rewriting the pattern for my size only, as well as finishing, I'm going to pull it up here, finishing the first part of the front. I'm using my Knitter's Pride interchangeable Zing needles. They do have a blunt tip. They're working really well. I really do like Knitter's Pride, and I am using a US size 6. The pattern calls for a US 8, but I could not get gauge with that. So I just finished the ribbing part. It's a 2x2 ribbing, and then this side is the button band, which you start from the very beginning. It is garter stitched button band, so it does, cinch up a little bit, but I think with blocking, it'll just sit nice. I kept track of where I was, and because you have to do so many rows, and so I did that. And then next I will do a setup row, and then I will establish the pattern, and then I will break off. For this pattern, you work it in sections for parts of it. So one section is here, the other section is here, and you do a pocket. So it'll be really, it's really quite fun. So when you are working the ribbing, you do your setup rows here, and then you put something on hold, and then you work on the other side. And it was really lovely. Once that went really fast, I remember. Plus it's engaging because you're doing different things, and you get to a certain point, and then you're like, woo, and then you just work even for a while to the armhole, and then you start doing some shaping, which is right here. This is where you start doing the shaping, and then once you get to a certain point, you put these stitches on hold because you pick up the shawl collar, and then you do the shoulder shaping. The pattern is lovely. I really enjoy it. The cable pattern is lovely. The writing of the pattern is lovely. It's been really, really nice. So I do believe they have that book still in stock on Knit Picks. I haven't looked for it because I own it. Let's see here. That's about it with that. I'm really happy I finished that part for my finish at February. It was a goal of mine, and I accomplished the goal of finishing the front and starting the second. So I'm going to put that off to the side. The next thing I really, really wanted to work on was my crochet temperature blankets. I have been taking the temperature since 2023. They don't make these anymore, and I'm really sad because I really, really like these date books. Since 2023, and I started this project back then. So this has been on the hook for a long, long time. I made my own guide. I'm using Lion Brand's acrylic Pound of Love, and I just like took tips from others. I decided the colors. I decided the temperature, is it variance? I decided all of that, and then I wrote down, well, let's go back to February. I wrote down the temperatures each day, and then I have a little method where I do a check that I'm working on that day, and then I put a line underneath the check that I accomplished that. So I'm not doing all kinds of, what if I have to rip back? I just wanted the most simple things. So I had probably, with the 2 different blankets, about 2 weeks to do, and I am so happy. I started it on Saturday afternoon, and then I kept on working on it Sunday morning, and I accomplished my goal for both the high temperature and the low temperature blankets. Now, sorry for the crinkles. I got this book off of Thrift Books. It's lovely. It has knitting and crochet. So this side is knitting and this side is crochet. All these different types of ripple blankets. I chose mine, very simple. It reminds me of my grandma. Now, one of these is attached and one is not. One is not because I needed the yarn for the second one. So we're gonna, I feel nervous. There's a kitty. She's a-coming. She wants my yarn. Yeah, this was hard to hide from her. No. Okay. So this is the low temps. I'm just going to I'll just do it in half because it's just making me scared. Let's see here. Okay. Now, I gave myself a long, this is where I got to start the March temps. So each row is a day in the year. So that's the beginning, and then that's the end of February. Now, that's the low temperatures. I'll just hold it in half. She didn't bother me too much, Tallulah, for when I was working on this this weekend. Wait, okay, so here we are. All right. So, and this is the high temps. There's January at the bottom, all the way through, so pretty, through February. I'm using, I don't even know what hook size. I liked it. I think it was like, I think it's a 4.5 or a 5 millimeter. Oh, it's a 6. I'm using a 6 millimeter. I got this off of Amazon from one set. I don't remember even what kind. This is a more boy style hook. That's what I like. So I always have my hook and my scissors in this little bag I made. And I'm going to put that there. And then I just really try to keep everything organized and safe because, cats. I love crocheting. I love crocheting so much. It brings me such a sense of peace, and I love everything about it. I was a crocheter since the age of 10, and I would pick it up and put it down throughout the years. And when I started crocheting again in my 30s, it just would make me so happy. I would be working as a bartender at that time, and someone inevitably would be sitting at the bar for far too long, drinking their sorrows and whatever. And I would be like, I could be crocheting right now. You're not tipping me anymore, and I'm kind of bored. So can we go home? But you can't say that to people because it's just not appropriate. But I love it. It brings me so much peace. So I'm really, really happy to be on the March time period. I did look ahead, and in 2023 spring break, we had 3 days of 80-degree temperatures. And the next week, we had snow days. What will this March bring? I have no idea. So the last thing I'm going to discuss is my wilderness sweater. Nope, take that back. 2 more things. Rewind. I'm going to talk about this other one first, before the wilderness, because I really didn't get that far in the wilderness. It's just basically working in the round. But I did bring out my Patons cable. Now, it's really getting kind of looser up here. I mean, not real loose, but there is some give to it. Not really in the cable area. I hadn't worked on this at all since the beginning of February. And I said to myself, you know, you really need to. And then I'd get busy with other things, and I really wanted to accomplish certain other tasks and get to certain other places in my knitting. And this always falls to the side because it's cable and I have to pay attention and whatever. And yesterday was a beautiful moment in time that I probably won't have again for a very, very long time. I got done with work. My daughter was at her after school activity until 6. And I came home and I could have gotten laundry and, dishes, all the stuff. And I said, no, you haven't worked on this at all. And I'm also listening to a book, which is due, and I don't think I'm going to finish it before it's due, but it's really engaging book. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to come home. I'm not turning on the TV. I'm not even going to have the fireplace on the TV because sometimes I like that. I'm just going to come home. I'm going to sit on my couch here and I'm going to just listen to my book and work on this. And it was glorious. I sat here for about 2 hours. I didn't look at my phone. I didn't look at my computer. I, really focused on this pattern. And when I was working on it, I was like, I really like bobbles. They're so much fun and engaging. I really like this cable pattern. Look how beautiful. And I like this cable pattern. And then I was looking at it, and yeah, it is really cinched right here because that was the style. And but it does stretch quite a bit. So will I size up for the front panel or will I keep the same? I don't know. But it is just turning into the most beautiful sweater. I know I'm holding it upside down, but okay. I thought she had yarn and she has one of her toy mice. So it is just really, 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 oops, that's the back. Really, really, really beautiful pattern. It is a Patons cable pattern that was popular in the 80s. I got it off of Etsy. I don't even remember what. This is the pattern. As you can see, this is real tight down here, and then it's real loose there. So I'm taking the suggestion from one of the viewers who said do a split hem, which I'm going to do, as well as I thought about, sizing up to a 6 or whatever. I think it was a US 5 that I used before. The pattern is relatively easy to follow. Everything is done in like these columns. That's why I say it's relatively easy. I have to rewrite it. I know it's all glary, but I just rewrite the pattern in my size, and then I just follow. And I have Post-its and an area where I put, like, I'm on row 3 for chart A and row 7 on chart B because they're different sizes. Chart A is like a 4-row repeat and chart B is a 12-row repeat. So it was beautiful. It was glorious. Your hands don't, yes and no, they get tired when you're working on all these things. But I find that working on a variety of stuff and making my hands do different movements keeps them in shape. So I am using Lion Brand's Fisherman, in the color Fisherman Wool Ease. It's the Wool Ease brand, worsted weight. I got this during one of the times that we were all home, a really big deal on Amazon at the time, and I snapped it up. So that is that. And the last thing I'm going to discuss is my Wilderness Sweater by Lincoln Newman. I'm just in the round. I'm doing the, I'm doing this. I am using Alafaslopi yarn. Oops, wrong bag. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. I'm doing in the round the sweater bottom now. Last night I was working on this and I got quite a bit done. Oh. I'm losing stitches. One good thing about this yarn, it's a hair sheep yarn. So it's pretty, it sticks well to itself. I got that tip from Anna from APT Atelier. She said that she doesn't catch her floats, especially when using Lopi yarn, because it just, for her, seemed to pucker too much. I noticed for me, it didn't really, I don't know if you would call it puckering, but it doesn't have the ability to stretch. And like even here you can kind of see, oh, maybe you can't, I was looking at it last night, it does look tighter here than it does up here, even though I used a larger needle size. So you start off with I used a US 8 for the ribbing. I think it calls for a US 7, but I don't want it that tight. And then I got gauged with US 10, and then I sized up to a US 10.5 for the color work. I did make a mistake on the color work, but it's fine, and I don't care, and I'm not fixing it. And it's really soft. Once you block this, wet block it, it becomes really super soft. So just working on that. These are my Knit Picks Sunstruck laminated birch needles that are the interchangeable circular. I really like them. They work really well with this yarn. It has a nice pointy tip, but not so pointy that it hurts when you working in the round. And I don't really have that much to say about it because I'm just going to be working in the round for this for quite some time. So, let's see. Oh, good. I'm about at a half hour, which is perfect. I hope everyone is doing well. I really appreciate you watching my videos and sticking around to the end. And I really am thankful that I am gaining more subscribers. It brings me a lot of joy to talk about my crafts. And I realized this week that I like promoting others as well. One of my co-workers makes beautiful quilts, and she has a quilt in one of the libraries near my town. How can I put this in a succinct way? A while ago, the Eau Claire library was refurbished. They added more height because they couldn't expand out, and so they remodeled, and it was a big thing. And on the 3rd floor, I think it's the 3rd floor, they have an art gallery, and the art gallery changes periodically, and it's really beautiful up there, and it's really neat. Well, one of my co-workers is an amazing quilter. She also crochets, and but she's just an amazing quilter. So one of her quilts is going to be shown at that library. And I think that is just hunky-dory. I'm like so excited. Handicrafts deserve the same acknowledgement as, say, a Picasso or a Rembrandt. They require the same amount of skill, the same amount of dedication, the same amount of, blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. And, some people make beautiful clothes. I watch a lot of people that do historical dress, and I find it just fascinating that they can recreate something out of literally once was string. Everything was once string at some point. The yarn is a form of string, the fabric was a form of string, the thread is a form of string. You get what I'm saying. If you make things, you understand. So I am very happy to promote a lot of other people who do this kind of work and making it more important to society at large. Those who buy from Temu and whatever, if that's what they want to do, fine. But I would love to have this sweater, for example, get passed down and be, as long as it's taken care of, my great-grandchildren could wear it if I do have great-grandchildren. Who knows? So, yeah, on that note, I hope everyone's doing fine. I hope everyone's doing well. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.